welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a video completely on airbrush makeup. So I'm going to take you through the steps on how I apply my makeup using the airbrush system, and I'm going to talk about which airbrush system I use, which airbrush gun I use, and which kind of foundation I use. So with that being said, let's jump right into it because I have a feeling it's going to be a little long. So for the airbrush system that I use the Iwata Silver Jet. It's pretty big. Looks like this. It has this big cord that attaches to the gun. This is also an Iwata Eclipse HPCS gun. And here you have the knob where you adjust the PSIs, and here is the little lever thing, I don't know, where it shows. This is where it shows what PSI you're at. PSI is a measure, a way to measure pressure. So you have to know what PSI you have to be doing your makeup at to be able to get a proper application. I use the Graftobian GlamAir HD Beauty Airbrush Makeup. To me, this is the best airbrush makeup that I've ever tried. It's so nice. It's made for film, for production, for pictures, for print. Like, it's made for celebrities and the red carpet and things like that. So you know it's going to give you amazing coverage and a flawless finish. So this is the one I use. It's when you first get them, they do come like this somehow. But they do separate after a while of just sitting there because obviously you're not going to use them every day. Airbrush makeup is something a little more special occasion makeup, so they do separate. This is one, I have a lot of colors, but I just wanted to show you. This is kind of like what it looks like, and here you can kind of see, I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can tell the difference. This is supposed to look just like this but darker. I'm going to shake it up so that you can tell the difference. And there's a little ball here. That's what shakes it up and gets all the product moving the right way. When they're separated, the thicker parts of the makeup kind of like trap that little ball in it. So you have to keep shaking until you release that little ball in there. I like to hit it against my palm. Get it going. Get that little ball loose. Ha! And get it. And just shake away. Now you can kind of see it's getting to the color. Like before, when I showed you side by side, this one was darker than this one. And this is actually a very dark shade. Now that's a little more shaken and together, you can see the difference. So you have to make sure that it's well shaken and incorporated together because they do separate. It doesn't take that long. Just shake it for a while. Make sure it's all nice and even on the outside of the packaging. This is a 1 fluid ounce size of foundation, which is pretty much average of what every foundation that you buy in the market is going to give you. Most of them have a 1 fluid ounce. This is going to last you a very long time because with airbrush makeup, it just very little goes a very long way. So you're going to kind of get more use out of it. I don't know, it's really nice. There's a lot of different formulas when it comes to airbrush makeup. Each airbrush company and formula have different bases. You can either have a water base, an alcohol base, or an oil base. This one specifically is a water-based foundation, so it makes it a lot more friendly to sweat-proof, waterproof, all things like that. This will wear really well since it is a water-based foundation. Going into the gun that I use, this is the Iwata Eclipse HPCS gun. So here is the actual gun. Like I said, this is where the makeup comes out. This is the little bowl where the makeup sits in. And this is the little cap that traps it inside and makes sure it doesn't spill. This is the dual action lever, so you push it down and then you push it back. You can't get anything out if you don't push down and then back. This is the needle that actually controls the product that comes out. So when you push back, that needle moves backwards and it opens up the little hole that's in the front of the gun. Obviously you're not going to be able to see it because it's super, super tiny. It's connected to this little area right here, which is just another pressure releasing nozzle. It has like a little screw here that you can push up. And that's pretty much it as far as the gun. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the demo portion of the video. With this foundation, it is very drying on the skin and leaves you very matte. I'm someone that prefers a more natural, dewy finish, so I do prep the skin and finish it off with dewy primers and setting sprays because I want to look more youthful. I feel like when I am super matte, the way this foundation makes me look, my skin just looks aged. So we are going to put on 2 different primers. I'm going to use the Step 1 Skin Equalizer from Makeup Forever, and this is the smoothing primer, and then this is the Laura Mercier Radiance foundation primer. So this one is just a smoothing primer to smooth out any imperfections and fill any pores that are on my face. I like to concentrate this on my enlarged pores around my nose area, as well as the lines I have on my forehead, because I make so many facial expressions that my makeup always settles in my forehead and a little bit on the smile lines and on the chin. I did prep my face before this video by cleansing and moisturizing with my normal daily moisturizer. Now we're going to use a pea size of the Radiance primer and just rub that in everywhere because I want this dewiness to be all over the face and have a nice sheen just to start off. Usually when I like to use this Radiance primer, I like to mix it in with my foundation because I feel like it gives a nicer finish like that. But since we're doing a airbrush foundation, you cannot mix anything with your airbrush foundation and then put it through your gun because you will clog your gun. Very, very important. I'm going to take this foundation. My color right now at the moment is going to be Desert Sands. I usually use Glamour Girl, but I'm a little tanner right now because I went to the beach yesterday. So I'm going to use a darker foundation. Holy crap, I just spilled this everywhere. Anyways, so make sure it's nice and shaken up. We are going to squirt some right in here. So have it in there. I kind of filled it a lot. I probably didn't need that much, but okay. Before you turn it on, make sure that you click down because you need to be letting out the pressure. If you let the pressure build up, it can be really bad for the machine. So if you have a dual action pen or gun like I do, you have to make sure that you have it pushed down, not pulled back, pushed down, so that the pressure is coming out and you're not building too much pressure and you're gonna wreck yourself. So, time for voiceover.
Okay, so we're going to start off by pulling back and starting to spray out the foundation a couple inches away from our face. And what I'm doing with this brush technique, it's kind of like a dual action technique that I use to apply this foundation. So since you're spraying the foundation onto your face, sometimes you can get little bubbles from the gun or it could get stuck onto the little hairs on your face. And what I do with the brush is just smooth everything out and make sure that everything looks perfect. This is a little trick that I've found to really make everything look super flawless. And when you're using the gun, you have to make sure that you are in constant motion. If you stop the motion of the gun, it's just going to get really messy and like splattery and gross. So just make sure you keep moving. You're a couple inches away from your face and you use a nice fluffy brush to smooth everything out, and it's just gonna apply like a freaking dream. And of course you have to make sure that you bring it down towards your neck because you want everything to match really well and look like it all goes together. So now for concealer, I'm just showing you that it blends in really well with the foundation and it doesn't do anything wrong. So just blend it out like normal and you should have no trouble.
Set my face with the Laura's Mercier translucent powder. This is just going to make sure that the rest of the products that I put on my face do glide on easily and blend seamlessly. So yeah, just going to do that like normal. And we'll set. Okay, so I just quickly finished off my eyes, did some eyeshadow, mascara, and brows. Other than that, we're going to move on to our contouring, blush, and highlight. Okay, so I'm going to take the Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced and the trusty NARS Ita, and we're going to sculpt out our base and contour away. And you see how nice and smooth it blends out. It doesn't let any like choppiness happen. Usually I have some problems with this bronzer blending well on me, but when I use it on the Airbrush foundation, it just blends like a dream. I would say that the step of setting your Airbrush foundation with the translucent powder is pretty crucial. Things do not blend as easily if you just go right on top of the foundation. Okay, so now that we've finally finished off all of our makeup, we have to clean the Airbrush system. Very, very important. So what I just do is I take the gun and some Airbrush cleaner, just like this, and you pour it in to the bowl. I like to swirl it around a little to get all the makeup around the edges off. It might spill, it's okay, I have a towel in my lap to catch anything that spills. And then I actually have a little dispenser thing that I just put this in right here and spray the water straight into there. See that now. Turn it on, pull, and that just goes on like that. Alrighty, well, that's the end of this tutorial, and I hope you really enjoyed learning about airbrush makeup and the different products that I use and machine that I use. It's so beautiful, and it's a very nice luxury alternative to your normal makeup, and it really makes you feel special because you get to use something different. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a nice thumbs up, and hasta la próxima.